Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Nashville Stars franchise. We are now officially here at draft day, and we find out we have the number one pick in the upcoming draft. I want to quick give you a recap on our top three prospects. Kerry Doss is an excellent first baseman, but I think he's about 2 years away. Tyson King is a candidate to be moved up later in the year. Because of how poorly some of our infielders are hitting, he has a chance to make the majors sooner rather than later. But Gene Dumont, to me, has probably the highest ceiling, and it's because he already has good base running attributes. He also is a good fielder. His contact is there. The rest of his hitting attributes will come with time. Now, looking at how our team did in the month of May going into June 1st, you can just see we're getting a couple of notifications, but the last one here, Robert Suzuki had a strong month of May, striking out 21 hitters and striking out 12. Now, I just want to look at him really quick. Robert Suzuki is a C potential 20-year-old player at 75 overall. He is a candidate to get moved up pretty soon. I wanted to see what he can do first at the AAA level. I did not put him in my top 12 prospects because he wasn't one of the recruits that we had created based on our members on the channel. But he's a guy that's really moving up my list here. And let's get into the draft. Now, we do not have any competitive balance picks. We have a round 1, round 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we will have about 6 picks in this draft. And let's just get it underway. Now, looking at the blue chip prospects, we have all of them to choose from. And quite honestly, I'm not a big fan of the blue chips this year. I look at some of the guys. There's not a lot of guys that are MLB ETA soon. A lot of them are 2026 plus. Robert Fitzgerald is probably the closest guy I am willing to draft here as a blue chipper. He is a 2025 ETA with 80 potential, 65 overall. Devin Dunning at 2025 ETA, 19 years old, but, I don't really see him as being a great hitter. So I decide to go to some of the guys I have fully scouted here after the blue chipper. Steven Brennan is probably my top guy. He is 18 years old, 80 potential, 65 overall, 2024 ETA, so a little bit earlier than the blue chippers. And the fact that he is 18, he has excellent potential, it just rings number one pick. A lot of times you got to go with the high potential guys. Connie Munoz is another guy, but you got to go 80 potential here. You can't go 75. You got to go with the sure thing. And Steven Brennan is there, and he will be the number one pick in this draft. Now, in this draft, I will be renaming a lot of the first round picks to actual prospects in real life just for this first year. So I'm not sure who Steven Brennan is going to be renamed to. I'll have to look up the prospects. I was hoping it would be like Kumar Rocker. I'm a big fan of Kumar Rocker, but we'll have to see how that goes. Now, in the second round, I have a couple of guys in mind, but I just highlighted Connie Munoz. He's still there after all the competitive balance picks, so I will go with him with this pick. We have him fully scouted. He is 75 potential, but 70 overall, so he's going to come in with a high overall. I want somebody, especially a pitcher, who can contribute right away because our pitching staff is really not that good right now. I highlighted last episode that Steven Burke was probably my favorite prospect. He is 70 potential, so that will be probably a C, hopefully a high C. But at 75 overall as an infielder, we definitely need it. Chad Pinder is definitely struggling this year. Miguel Rojas is getting older. We need a shortstop who's going to be there right now. He's a great defensive guy, at least from what his ratings is showing for the scouting. So I will draft him in the third round. In the fourth round, I think this is where you start to go for high potential guys. Even if they're ready down the road, you can use them as trade chips, or you could develop them a little bit more. Now, one guy that I like here is Richard Fuentes. He is 18 years old. I like to go after these 18-year-olds because we know that they will have time to develop. Even if they are low potential right now, they can always earn a higher potential by performing higher than what they were expected to perform. But I decided to go with Fabio Malanca. I just like him a little bit more. We have them scouted the same amount of accuracy. They have the same potential, pretty much the same overall. And Richard Fuentes is still there in the next round. But I decide to pass on him to possibly go after a higher potential guy. We've had 4 picks already. And with the 5th pick, I will go after Johnny Frazier. I like what I see from him, but he is one of those guys that, like I said, you want to draft a high potential guy to possibly use as, if not a developmental guy, as a possible trade chip to get other prospects or other MLB talent. So that brings us to our final pick here. And I just want to throw one out there. I mean, I don't have a lot of accuracy on a lot of guys, so I decided to go after Adrian Bourbon. We have no accuracy on him, but he looks like 80 potential. We're just pretty much throwing something out there. So looking at all of our picks here, we have some 80 potential plus players here, but nobody in the 90s. Steven Brennan ends up being 69 overall, B potential. At 18 years old, he's got a lot of room to develop. I would say he's probably still a year or 2 away, depending on how he does right now. I might keep him in A ball, because if you keep guys in A balls, they will steadily improve over time. If you keep guys in double A ball, it depends on their performance. Connie Munoz is a guy that he looks good. Like, I'm going to see what he can do in spring training. At 21 years old, he went to college. He's going to be a guy that's a lefty who we don't really have in the rotation right now. I'm going to have him in spring training, but he's definitely going to be a guy to watch out for in his first year in minor league ball. Steven Burke ends up being 72 overall, so I thought he would be mid-70s. I was hoping a little higher in the 70s, but 72 is okay. He is an excellent fielder. Not quite sure he's going to be a shortstop, though. His arm is only 53. He can run well, so that's a good thing, but I'm not sure he's going to be a shortstop. He's probably going to convert over to second or third. Fabio Malanca is probably one of the most disappointing picks of this draft. At 21 years old, deep potential, 64 overall, and 68 potential. It's just not looking good for him. Also, Johnny Frazier was a little bit disappointing. We had him scouted pretty high, but he ends up being a C potential. I'm pretty disappointed with that. I think when we had him scouted, he was 75 potential. Ends up being terrible. But then the last pick, Adrian Bourbon, it worked. We decided to draft a guy that we just took a flyer on, and we picked up a 59 overall, high B potential, amazing trade chip right here. 19 years old as an infielder. Teams will want him in a trade, so he could be a guy that can put, trades over the top. But overall, I really like this draft. We didn't get any 90 potential guys, but it's okay. We did pass up on Robert Fitzgerald, and he ended up being really good. Only mistake of this draft was probably passing on Robert Fitzgerald with the number 1 pick. 18 years old, 93 potential, 65 overall, excellent power. Man, I missed on him, but it's okay. You're going to miss on guys in the draft. We end up with Steven Brennan, who is pretty good. I was thinking about getting Mark Oka actually early on in the draft, but at 22 years old, I decided to pass up on him. He ends up going to the Yankees. Another guy that other division teams that ended up picking pretty poorly. I'm about to say the Devil Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays. They had a terrible draft. No 80 overall potential guys, not even good. And the Blue Jays almost had a bad draft, but they made up for it with their last 3 or 4 picks, with Reggie Robles at 87 potential, Jansen at 80-something potential, and their second to last pick, 80-something potential as well. And then the Red Sox have a decent draft. They drafted an 88 potential catcher at 19 years old in the first round. After that, they didn't really draft that well. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to rename the prospects, but also I'm going to boost the overalls of the first round prospects, the ones that have a good potential at least, and just to simulate, getting them to the major leagues faster. Now, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about having Miguel Rojas as our first mentor. Now, what that is going to mean is that every player that's a prospect at his position will have an attribute boost of some type. It will go off of his best attributes. So his best attributes are vision and clutch together, contact both left and right together, and then fielding attributes together. So we will spin this wheel here at the draft every year. Every year that we will have a different mentor. And we end up landing this year on +1 contact right and +1 contact left. So that means that all prospects in the organization who are 26 and younger will get a boost in contact left and right. That brings us to John Dumont. John Dumont is 20 years old, 68 overall, B potential. I want to see what he's got because he is probably going to be the future in this middle infield. I love what he can do defensively. I love what he can do offensively. He's kind of a do-it-all guy, and he's hitting 300 right now with the Bowie Bay Sox. And, you know, I want to see what he's got here in gameplay. So we will player lock onto him. Here he is for his first at-bat after the draft. He pops one up in the infield. He doesn't have great power, but good contact ratings right now. He's going to need to develop a little bit more. Like I said, he's about a year away. I would think that maybe even midway through next season could be potentially when we would be looking to move him up. But it would definitely have to depend on just his growth as a hitter. Here he is for his third at-bat here, popping up in the infield. He is 0 for 2 with a walk in this game. We move on to the sixth inning now. 5-3 game for the Bay Sox. He hits one hard to right center. That one will get to the gap. His first hit of the game. He rounds first pretty hard. Forces the throw to second base. That one was on line. But he gets his first hit of the game here. He is a lefty who throws righty. And here he is for his final at-bat at the plate. 1 for 3 today in a 6-6 ball game. Hits one well to right field. And that one will get down to a 2 for 4 day for John Dumont, a good middle infielder. We will be probably moving up prospects soon because we are not competing right now for the division. But I definitely want to see the young guys and what they can do at the AAA and MLB level. We have a lot of our top prospects at the AA level right now, but that will definitely change coming up soon, especially when, you know, we start to see how our MLB talent is doing right now. It's not doing well, especially at positions where we have a lot of prospects at, like shortstop, like third base with Tyson King, who we will follow throughout the season as well, another prospect of ours in the top 3. And now we go back to the MLB level for a 3-game set versus the Cleveland Guardians, the first time playing them with their new name. And we are at home for this 3-game set. We will take a look at some guys we haven't really seen, including Brett Anderson, the left-handed veteran. In 11 starts, he's 2-5, 1.30 whip, which is about average. But he will face Aaron Savali, who is way above average. 11 starts, a .87 whip, and a 1.32 ERA. That's unheard of as he comes on the road and faces Nashville. Jorge Alfaro leads off the game. We have moved him, at least tried to move him to the leadoff spot to see what he can do here. And he starts out the game with a single up the middle. Jorge Alfaro is a catcher with excellent speed. He can also play a little outfield, and he's got the best arm on the team. That brings up Miguel Rojas at short. He hits one well to left field. That one's run down, 1 out. That brings up Dominic Smith, hitting in that 3-hole still this year. Not hitting quite to what I would want him to, but he pops out here to Jose Ramirez in foul territory, 2 outs, bringing up Jesus Aguilar. He gets one up the middle. That one will be a single. So now guys on first and second here with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Tyrone Taylor at the plate. He's been struggling so far this year, hitting .212. And the 19th pitch of the inning will be a strike 3. He got absolutely fooled on the slider as we move on to the top of the second. Here is our veteran Brett Anderson on the mound, facing a very tough Cleveland lineup. This is going to be a line shot up the middle, and that's Naylor who is on his horse. He makes it all the way to second with a double. His 8th double of the year. That brings up Brian Rocchio, hitting around 300 this year. He swings and misses at that one. Brett Anderson gets the strikeout to bring it to 2 outs in the inning. And Jimenez comes up, and it's a strike 3. And we get out of this inning after the double there by Naylor. As we move on to the bottom of the 4th inning, this is Jesus Aguilar. He gets one right over the middle, and Savali makes one of his first mistakes of the game. That's a home run. Jesus Aguilar is a team-leading home run hitter for us. That's his 8th of the season, I believe. And that one was just way too much over the plate, and it was not missed by Jesus Aguilar. It's 1-0 Nashville. Tyrone Taylor up to the plate now. He hits a chopper to second base. That one's an easy ground out. 1 out here in the 4th inning as Josh Fuentes eventually comes up with 2 outs. He watches a high heater. And we got a man on first base as that brings up Jacob Nottingham, who is actually hitting very well this year. He walks, and now there's men on first and second. Back-to-back walks for Savali as that brings up Victor Robles, who hits one hard up the middle. That one will get through. We will send the runner from second. The throw offline, and we will get in safe. Fuentes avoids the tag. This was very, very close. Fuentes just gets around that throw. And it's now 2-0 here for Nashville. We're back to the top of the order. This is Alfaro. Waits on a curveball. Ground ball up the middle will be flipped to second. And we have the 2-0 lead for the veteran Brett Anderson. As we move on to the top of the 6th inning, Anderson leaves a curveball right over the middle. He hung one up, and that is going to be crushed over the left field wall. It's a home run. And Cleveland is on the board. Ahmad Rosario comes through. It's now 2-1. Jose Ramirez keeping this hitting going in the 6th inning. And he gets one down the right field line away from the shift. And it will be a stand-up double. So they have a man in scoring position. They've already scored 1 run in this inning. And now that brings up Ryan Rocchio with 2 outs. They move the runner over to third. And Rocchio comes through with a single. And it's now a tie ball game here in Nashville, playing against another AL opponent here. And that's going to be the end of the day for Brett Anderson. We've seen enough. He's been getting hit pretty hard here in the 6th. We go to the bullpen and bring in Luke Jackson, a 7.78 ERA. I mean, that is absolutely terrible. We'll see if he can get out of this jam. He gets a man on first and second here, but he does get a ground out to Jesus Aguilar. And it's still a 2-2 ball game going into the bottom of the 6th inning. Savali's still on the mound, and he is struggling to find the zone in this one. That's going to be a ball 4 low in the zone as that brings up Eric Sogard. No outs. He hits one hard to the left side. That one gets through the infield. So now we have men on first and second. And that's going to be the end of Savali's day. So both pitchers get pulled in the 6th inning. That's going to bring in Sam Henches out of the bullpen, and he looks like he has a pretty even strikeout to walk ratio, 31-28. Fuentes back at the plate again. He's scored earlier in the game. He hits one deep to center field. This one should be deep enough to at least tag the runner over to third. The throw is off the mark. It wouldn't have been in time anyway. But now 1 out. That brings up Jacob Nottingham to the plate with runners on the corners. He hits one hard up the middle. This one stopped. And it's knocked down, but Nottingham beats out the throw to first base. And a runner will come across to score. It's now 3-2. Victor Robles back to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He gets a good pitch to hit. This one's driven deep. This one is gone. Nashville takes the 6-2 lead here. And how about Robles showing off a little power? He doesn't have a power bat, but that time he got enough of that baseball to just get it out of the park. Just get it over the wall, I should say. As now Jorge Alfaro comes up, and he keeps the hitting going. Jorge Alfaro is leading our team in average this year. I mentioned last episode that he could be a guy that can be an everyday starter in left field and at catcher. And here is Miguel Rojas coming to the plate. And that one will be a double to left center. And it's now a 7-2 game. Miguel Rojas, that veteran for us. He's definitely the mentor of this team. And we move on to the 7th inning. Luke Jackson still on the mound now. And he gives up a single here with 1 out. Cleveland, Ahmad Rosario comes up to the plate. He already went deep earlier, and that one's gonna be a shot down the left field line and knocks off of the wall. It will score 1, but a nice throw in from the cutoff man, but not in time. 7-3 here in Music City. That's an excellent hit down the line by Rosario. He's hitting the ball well. We go to the bullpen and bring in Cody Staszak, who is our best reliever right now. An ERA at about 3, but 14 strikeouts, 3 walks. He has pretty much been untouchable this year, as that's a ground ball to Jesus Aguilar, stepping on the bag for the 2nd out of the inning. Franmil Reyes up to the plate. Another ground ball to first, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. We get out of that little jam right there. As we move on to the 9th inning, Phil Maton into pitch. 14 saves and 17 opportunities. He comes in here facing a part of the lineup who has not been hitting the ball well today. That one will be a fly out in foul territory. Jose Ramirez comes up with 2 outs, and that one will be the game. Maton comes in and shuts down the Cleveland Guardians. We get the win here, 7-3. Both teams get 10 hits, but a good game by Jorge Alfaro. Also, Jesus Aguilar and then Victor Robles came through with a 2-for-2 day with the home run, 4 RBIs. And that's what you want out of your 9-hole hitter. He comes through for us. Luke Jackson gets credited with the win, and Aaron Savali does get the loss in today's game. So now we move on to game number 2 in the series and facing the Guardians again. And this one will be a good start by Nashville with Jorge Alfaro and Miguel Rojas starting out the game with back-to-back jacks. So a 2-0 cushion, then another run tacked on in the second here for Jake Woodford, who gets the start today. And he has not had a good season at all. He is 1-6. I just want a good outing for him just to get his confidence going. And today we are keeping this lead, at least for now, 3-1. And Jake Woodford gives up a leadoff home run right there to start the 8th inning. So we go ahead and pull him, and he does not get credited with the win. The no decision here from him as he gets pulled. But we do end up pulling this one out in the end after a 1-run 8th inning. They scored 2 runs. We end up holding on 4-3 in this one. Jorge Alfaro with another multi-hit game. He went 2 for 4 in this one. I decide to pull the trigger on making Jorge Alfaro an everyday starter after that game. I think that what he brings to the table is just a lot better than what our outfield provides right now. And he plays left field and catcher. He has an excellent arm at 99 right now. He is on a hot streak, so that arm did go up. But Oscar Mercado is just not cutting it for me. He's hitting 197. He's definitely a trade candidate now. Like, I need to see more from these guys. And one season, it's an expansion team, so we really need to figure out who's going to be on contracts in the future. And I don't see, Mercado really fitting into what we do, because right now he's not hitting the ball well. If you want to make the team in the future, that's one thing you got to do is hit the ball well. So now in game number 3, here is Chris Paddock who gets the start, and he absolutely starts out hot. Facing the first 3 batters, he gets 2 strikeouts out of 3. We move on to the second inning. Franmil Reyes at the plate. He swings and misses at the low fastball. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game. Naylor up to the plate. He hits one hard to the right side. That one will be a single. Taylor can't hold on to that one at first. So now they have a man on second base. But no problem for Chris Paddock. That's another strikeout, the 5th of the game. Andre Jimenez to the plate. Another strikeout. How about Paddock? He is untouchable today. Ernie Clement to the plate here in the 8th hole. He's swinging and missing. How about Paddock? He's going to go through the lineup once and strike out 8 of 9 batters. Have a day, Chris Paddock. And here comes Miles Straw to the plate here with 2 outs. He's swinging and missing. And that's another strikeout. And how about Paddock in this one? Hopefully we can provide him some run support in this one. On to the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Eric Sogard at the plate, who's been getting more playing time due to the struggling Chad Pinder. He hits one off of the wall in right field, and it's going to be a no-out double here to start the bottom of the 4th inning. Facing Zach Plesac on the mound for the Guardians. That brings up Jesus Aguilar. He goes right back to the same spot, and that's going to be another double here for your Nashville Stars. It's 1-0 here at home as we look to go for the sweep today. As Josh Fuentes comes up here in the 5 hole, we move him up a little bit in the lineup today. He hits one hard to second base, and that one will be a ground out. That brings up Chad Pinder, 0 for 1. He's been struggling. Good timing on the swing, but a ground ball right to the shortstop, thrown on to first, and it will be the 3rd out of the inning. On to the 6th inning now. Chris Paddock, 73 pitches in, walks the first batter, bringing up Miles Straw. That one will be a high fastball, but it looks like Nottingham couldn't get the throw down in time. A stolen base here for Cleveland. This at-bat continues. Here's a hit to right field. That one is going to get through. And now the Guardians have runners on the corners here That's going to bring up Rosario, who was the man of the hour in game 1. He goes down the left field line. That one will be a single. Alfaro comes up throwing, and you're not running on him to third. What are you thinking? 99 arm in left field now. That is a glimpse of what Alfaro can do. Not only is he our leading hitter, but he also is a great defender. It brings up Jose Ramirez to the plate. Paddock in a little bit of trouble. He walks him, bringing up Franmil Reyes, who goes down the right field line with 2 men on. That one will get all the way to the track. It will score 1. It will score 2. And Cleveland takes the 3-1 lead here in Nashville. Chris Paddock hasn't gotten hit like this in this series. And he ends up getting pulled here in this inning. That brings in Joel Payamps out of the pen to face Josh Naylor with 2 outs. He does get a fly out to right field. But on to the 9th inning, where our team tries to get back into this one. As we now move on to the 7th, actually, not the 9th yet. And there is another hit up the middle. And Cleveland will take the 4-1 lead here in the 7th inning. And it looks like Cleveland they're going to be avoiding this sweep. As we move on to the 9th, finally, here is Jesus Aguilar at the plate. 2 outs here, low slider, and it will be a strike 3 on a 92-mile-an-hour slider. And Cleveland does avoid the sweep today. They end up with the 5-1 victory here. But Nashville didn't look bad in this 3-game set, to be honest with you. Jorge Alfaro went 0 for 3 today, but Eric Sogard came through with a 2 for 4 day. And it looks like Zach Plesac pitched pretty good, and they get the win. So as we move into the All-Star episode, we just want to take a look at some of our potential All-Stars. How about Jorge Alfaro? I did not expect when I started this series that he would be the guy that would get the most votes out of anybody on our team, but right now, that is the situation. Now, I would have guessed that Chris Paddock would be getting the most votes, but Chris Paddock has kind of come back down to earth a little bit. Look at all of the pitchers getting votes before him. Even Elizar Hernandez from us is getting more votes than Chris Paddock at 76,000. Chris Paddock only 57,000. He's 5-5 only. 1-2-3 whip, which is a little above average, but he still is not pitching, quite the way I would want him to pitch. And you know what? I might give a little, not blame, but if the offense is better, your pitching kind of goes with that also. Now, looking at the trade block, I'm not sure if there are many guys that we are going after here. I don't see many prospects or anything like that are available that are intriguing, but I definitely do want to make some moves. We're obviously not competing. Chad Pinder is probably one of the top candidates to get traded. Also, Tyrone Taylor and Mercado, definitely candidates also, because they are not hitting the ball well, and I think we just need to start the rebuild now. Start to develop these prospects, so we will see how that goes. But at the beginning of the month of June, we are 25-36 and 11 games back from the division. We are definitely out of that race. We are 27th ranked just overall wise, so we definitely have some developing to do. Let me know if there are any prospects that you guys would like us to really see or go after. I'm not really sure who, but I definitely want to bring in somebody in the outfield. We'll have to see who's available, who makes sense, everything like that. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I'm about my pledge. I'm decked up on blue bills, and I won't stop until the cash pit look like fall leaves in the backfield. Tell her out of my face if she coming with that bull. Quick to say my piece, I'm so after school special. She brainy, but them jeans looking like